Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another Foundation Friday video. Now, today we're going to be doing a foundation review, a Foundation Friday of the Superstay 24-hour skin tint from Maybelline. I have seen this foundation blow up all over the internet and I was like, that's my next Foundation Friday video because we need to know if this foundation is good. According to Ulta Beauty, it says turn up your skin with Maybelline's Superstay 24-hour skin tint with vitamin C. It is a long-wearing skin tint that delivers skin-like coverage and a natural radiant finish while resisting sweat, humidity, and fading. It delivers bright, buildable, light to medium coverage for a skin-like finish and a natural radiant look. It is weightless and up to 24 hours of wear, resists sweat, humidity, and fading. That is key. Resists sweat, humidity, and fading. It is infused with vitamin C to instantly and over time brighten your skin. And it is made for everyday use for a bright, fresh look. And it is dermatologist tested for safety, non-comedogenic, and suitable for sensitive skin. The shade that I have is 112. I had to really guess on this one, and Ulta has a section wherever you buy a foundation, you can like find your shade match, and I guessed 112 because I am fair with a pink undertone / I can use neutral undertones as well. A little bit about my skin if you are new here. I am 34 years old. I live in upstate New York. It is currently the summertime when I am filming this, so it is about a balmy 85-degree day outside, very humid for our time of year, and my skin has not experienced any kind of blemishes or dry patches. It's actually pretty hydrated right now because of life. I do have some fine lines, typically right underneath my eyes. I do have some mom bags. I also have some fine lines in between my eyebrows here from like squinching my eyes and be like, kid, what are you doing? Because I am a mom. My skin is over 30. My skin is more on the mature side, but it still has a lot of elasticity in it. I do have a little bit of fine lines and wrinkles. I do have some hyperpigmentation, and I also have some like blemishes. I wouldn't necessarily call them age spots. It's just I have, sun-kissed freckles on my face. That's what happens as you age. That is a little bit about me and about my skin, the type of weather that we are dealing with under the conditions of filming today. And we're going to just perform a basic wear test. In true fashion, for every single wear test that I do, I use the e.l.f. This is the Power Gripping Primer, and this is just the like original one. I have both of them, but this is literally almost gone, and I'm so excited about that. So I do about up 2 pumps in the middle of my hand, and I just schlep this all over my face with my fingers. So we just smear it all over the face. When it starts to feel like a tacky, sticky base, then that's when you know it is ready to accept the makeup. Now, I'm going to shake this. I'm going to be using a foundation plate. We're just going to drop the formula on here, and I'm going to see. So I'm going to actually clear the dropper and then absorb like a whole thing. I think the shade match is going to be okay, but let's just drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just very runny consistency. Like that's a very, very thin formula. So on one side of my face, we're going to apply with a damp beauty blender. And on the other side of my face, I'm going to use a foundation kabuki brush. Just like we're going to do both, and then we will see how this works. So shade match wise, I got to find my mirror here. Okay, I shade matched myself really good. So that is a really good shade match. I am very proud of myself for that shade match because I was literally just kind of like pulling stuff out of my butt when I was ordering it. I was like, I don't know if I am going to get the right shade or not, but That's the right shade. That's a beautiful shade match, actually. One of these foundation Fridays, I'll actually just be doing like a how to shade match yourself, because I found a lot of places, like when you go shopping, don't know how to shade match you. That went on really easily with the Beauty Blender. I do have some left on the foundation plate, and I'm just going to be using, this is my LYS foundation brush. We're going to stipple this on. Stipple it on as much as possible. I feel like the Beauty Blender like really soaked up like all of the product that was on my foundation plate. So I might have to kind of even this out. It is providing a light coverage. It's not providing like a super medium coverage at all. I am going to have to put a little bit more foundation on my foundation plate. I did just like 2 drops because that Beauty Blender like really soaked it up real good. So 2 drops. And we're just going to try and get the same coverage as what we have on the Beauty Blender side. We're dabbing this in first, like so, making sure I blend down and around. Okay, so Beauty Blender side looks more skin-like, I'm seeing. I don't particularly like the brush side. I feel like it's not as, like it's very texturized on the brush side. So I'm going to go over my skin with this Beauty Blender, and we're just going to hopefully get rid of some of that texture. It's interesting to say the least. Like it's definitely a lightweight coverage. It's looking a little bit better. That coverage is, it's a very like lightweight coverage, and actually the coverage really reminds me of the L'Oreal True Match, the new one, but that one's more like a medium coverage. This one is definitely very lightweight, it's very skin looking. Like I really hope this is portraying on camera as how skin like this looks, because it's really pretty. So for my project pan, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Radiant Color Correcting Concealer. This is pretty much the same shade as my skin, but I want to conceal more of those like mom bags. I typically conceal right around the edge of my nose as well, just because sometimes I get really red right around the edge of my nose. We're going to set it down. I was noticing it's kind of settling into the fine lines just a little bit. So I'm using a Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. And this is just an Alter Ego #2 brush. It's a powder brush. And dipping into this generously and really going to set the face just to make sure it doesn't start creasing anywhere. Typically with like serums, sometimes they're too serumy and they start to settle into my fine lines. So I have to be really careful with that. And like I said, I was noticing it was creasing just a little bit up in here. So getting it set sooner than later is a good option for me. I'm just gonna set my face real fast. The setting spray I'm using today is the Conceal and Define Infinite Spray from Makeup Revolution. Like it's pretty much like powder dry right now, besides like some of the setting spray is still, setting down. But that's actually, it feels like powder on certain parts of my skin. So we're going to finish off the face, and we're going to see how this layers with some of my favorite products right now that I have been using, which I will do an updated like product favorites video. We're going to use the Tresluce Beauty. This is the Bronze de Lista. It's a like hybrid bronzer. It is the hybrid putty bronzer. That's what they call it. And this is a cream to powder formulation. What shade do I have? Just Fair. I have the shade Fair. I tried this not too terribly long ago. What makeup was I trying? I think I did the Toti CC cream. When I was trying that, I tried this for the first time, and I kind of like am obsessed with it now. For blush, I also have it's like a hybrid cream blush from Tresluce Beauty. It's their Ready to Bounce blush. Literally, this is also a hybrid product, and they could have called it the hybrid blush, and I would have been like totally on board with it. But the shade I have is called Out the Door. It's like a poppy pink, and this is literally a cream to powder formula, highly pigmented, and it just goes on your skin like butter. And I have been actually using it with like a whole bunch of different base products. and I haven't had any problems with it lifting. It's definitely like a universal hybrid product that is really easy to use. It doesn't lift the foundation and it just goes on so beautifully, like smooth. And I look very like blushed right now. But I'm also going to use in my project pan, this is my Butter Bronzer. Just gonna go over all of this, kind of mesh it together, get it like down here as well. Just a little bit of glow. It is more of a satin formula, so it does have a little bit of like a sheen to it. Then I take my powder brush and I swirl it in my Microsmoothe powder and just kind of like dust it over everything to set it all in place. So far, everything is layering so nicely on my skin. I am like kind of blown away by how nicely this looks on my skin. The concealer may have been a bad choice because I'm noticing it's starting to like coagulate here, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's definitely not the foundation because it wasn't doing that until I put the concealer like to conceal some of my blemishes, but so far, it's a looking pretty. This is what the face is looking like, and so far it looks really pretty. It looks dewy. Everything, it is not tacky. It is like pretty much just set down. Like my forehead feels great and I don't see any of the creasing that I had before. Like it's gone because we set it down. So set it down right away. That's the first key takeaway from this Super Stay with vitamin C. I guess that it's also a part of the Super Stay just like line in general because this is one of my favorite like full coverage foundations, and I honestly like if you're wanting to get married you need to use that one. But so far first impression wise I'm really liking this. So I am going to pop off camera. I'm going to do my eyes, then we'll do a like first check in to see how my makeup is doing after all of like the eyeshadow is applied and how it, how it's settled down for like, 10 minutes after I've done my eyeshadow. So I will be right back. Here's my completed face with the foundation. I actually just filmed and it'll be up soon on my channel, the latte trend. So that's what I'm kind of like getting inspiration for my eye makeup look with. So go check that out. And so far, like I sat under studio lights for about 20 minutes doing my eyeshadow, doing my brows, and also doing my lips for that latte makeup trend. And so I was feeling my face and I'm like, it's a little bit tacky over here, and I think it might be because of the setting spray. But overall, my skin does not feel like weighted or tacky or like gross in any way. Like if you guys remember the Tula skin tint that I tried, my face felt moist for like the entire day, and it felt like I had just put it on and it just didn't set down right. So far, this one feels like it set down really, really well, and I'm really liking how it feels on my skin and how it looks on my skin. It's very like lightweight and skin-like and very like airbrushed. I did not like how it applied with the brush though. I really like how it applied with the Damp Beauty blender. So it could just be your personal preference. Maybe that foundation brush is just too densely compacted. Maybe I need something a little bit more light and airy to get the like airbrushed look. It's like light feeling, but almost a medium coverage, which is really nice. And it's offering just some great like benefits as well. It hasn't settled into any of the fine lines or wrinkles that I have so far. When I color corrected with the CC Radiant Concealer, it did look really beautiful as well. So it did layer really well with all these products on, so really great with that. It's 12:25 in the afternoon. That's baby Braxton. It is 12:25 in the afternoon. We're going to give this a good old-fashioned like 10 to 12 hour wear test. We're going to see how it looks at the end of the night, see how it wore throughout the day, and I will also be doing check-ins with you throughout the day. But so far, first impression, sitting here after 20 minutes, it's wearing really well. It hasn't melted off my face, especially in these like really hot lights, and it's doing a great job of just like it's holding up to the heat of this. So I wanted to do the first check-in of the day. It is about 2:45 in the afternoon, so it's been a couple hours since I applied my makeup. Just wanted to give you a quick check-in, see what it looks like in the natural light. I actually just was looking in the mirror in the bathroom and I was like, my makeup actually doesn't look like bad at all. It looks really pretty. And so I haven't noticed any like, let's just step into the light real quick. I have to step better into the light so you guys can see what the makeup is doing and what it looks like. it is not settling funny. I did see a little bit of like it settling in here, but I know that was the concealer, so we may not be using that concealer around my eyes, but I'm noticing it just settled down really, really nicely. It still feels like powder smooth, and there are no texturizations, no bumps. It's not settling into really my fine lines or anything like that. Right now, it is wearing really, really well. I've had it on for a couple of hours now, and it looks really pretty. I did eat lunch, so obviously I went through like all of that. But so far it looks really pretty, really good. If you guys can see, I'm trying to get close-ups for you. But it's just a very lightweight, like light to medium coverage skin tint with vitamin C. So it's supposed to be like skin brightening, and this is what it's looking like right now. So, hey everybody, we're trying to be quiet because my kids are asleep. So, here we are. It is 11:45 at night. So it is almost midnight. That's why I'm being so quiet. And hopefully my microphone is like picking this up because yeah. So here is the foundation after almost 12 hours of wear. And it went through the ringer today. It was 80 degrees outside, so I did go outside for a little bit today. Not like a lot, but just a little bit, you know. And I ended up having to give my kids a bath slash shower tonight. So I had like water like sprayed all over my face today. And that's just a little bit about like the situation that I went through today. Obviously, I ate lunch, I ate dinner, I brushed my teeth like 20 million times. So it went through the ringer with that as well. And it went through the whole mom test of like smooches and hugs and like little hands all over my face. So this is what the makeup looks like right now. So the biggest thing that I'm noticing is it clung to some like blemishes that I have, and I actually got a blemish that like appeared right here. And I was like, really? Like you had to appear there. And it also clung really funny to the nose, but I think that was the L'Oreal concealer. I don't think that was the foundation. As far as like noticing any weird wear throughout the day, I didn't notice anything like super concerning. I am seeing that it is settling into like fine lines up here, and actually my face feels a little bit moist, almost a little bit oily, like right in here, and then also like right in here. That's probably just from like 12 hours of wear. So those are like the major things that I noticed. Other than that though, it did not settle into any fine lines like underneath my eyes. It isn't like sitting on top of the skin. It definitely like soaked into the skin, and it looks really like skin-like still. And the rest of the makeup like lasted very well throughout the day. So I think it did pretty well for everything that it went through today. I think it wore down really nicely. And it didn't wear down and it didn't like separate on my face, which is awesome. So it did do pretty well with that. I think overall it did pretty, like it was pretty long lasting. It does have a claim of 24-hour wear, but honestly, like this would not last 24 hours. I think 12 hours is like the max that I would ever do. But I mean, it did last quite a long time, and it did wear down pretty nicely throughout the day. But for a product that claims to do 24 hours, shouldn't it be like better wear time than this? Who knows? But because it went through water, it went through kisses, hugs, little hands all over my face, I definitely say it held up pretty well throughout the entire day. And it's a beautiful foundation. I'm very surprised by it. I had been saying that there was another skin tint that they came out with that just it did not perform very well at all. And I think this one performed really well. You know, I was actually looking and I forgot to tell you guys how much this foundation is, and I think it's like a $17 foundation. Yeah. So it retails for $17.99 at Ulta, which is the only place that I was able to purchase it from right now. I haven't been able to find it in the drugstore. So it is a $17.99 foundation. And overall, for almost a $20 foundation, I think it wore well, but there are other foundations that do the same thing for a lot less. Like I have the Serum foundation from Makeup Revolution that performs really, really well. That is like a serum-y skin tint, very, very similar to this one, and it's $5. And this one is almost $20, and that just seems a little bit steep for me, especially with it being a drugstore foundation. Like that just seems really steep. Whereas like the Superstay from Maybelline, which is like the full coverage 30-hour version, this one is like $12.99. And that one to me is more worth it because it's full coverage, lasts really, really long. It doesn't feel like anything is on your skin. It wears down really, really well. This one is a $20 skin tint. It gives you a very lightweight coverage. It does feel like lightweight on the skin. It feels like powder. It doesn't feel like anything is there. And it looks like skin, but the price tag is pretty steep for a drugstore foundation, especially when you can buy tinted serums for $5 from Makeup Revolution that do literally the same thing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys consider subscribing to see more Foundation Fridays. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. Bye.